I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, y'all. I've been talking all this time to myself. You get the Hey, Imperial Walker. Hey, man, I love talking to myself, brother. I love talking to myself. Hey, B the Great B, what's up, baby? What's happening with you, man? Hey, is that Ken Lee's way? Ken Lee's way. Hey, man, you ain't working second shift at the post office, Negro? Hey, you know I'm gonna mess with you, player. How you doing, man? Give my book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. Make sure you go get it if you don't have it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this book, man. It's got dating in here. Now I'm working on my second book, The Dating Bible, and hopefully I will have that done by early 2019. I'm taking my time. I might write one sentence a week because I don't want to write garbage. And I'm citing most of the information in there so that this can be considered a published piece of work rather than just conjecture, which is, I mean, this book, I have some sightings in here, but it's not going to be in depth like this, like the Dating Bible. But this book is a good book. You need to get this book before you buy the Dating Bible. Make sure you get this book first. Okay? This is proof that the Iceman is building a legacy of information, a legacy of empowerment, and a legacy of strength for all of you, all of our warriors, our sister warriors and brother warriors out here. So get this book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1, at Amazon.com, or you can get it directly from me at AskTheIceman.com. You digs? Okay. How's everybody doing? Hey, sorry about not having no sound. At first, I didn't know whether or not I was going to do the show because it's late. But I know some of y'all in the Central and East Coast, you guys probably, you guys are 2 or 3 hours ahead of us. So it's 10 and 11 o'clock respectively. So I know you guys are, I respect the fact that you guys might not be able to tune in, and that's okay, because you can always come back and look at this video in its entirety. We ain't gonna be on too long, y'all, because I gotta get in. I didn't go to the athletic club today because it was raining, and I chose to go to the grocery store rather than to go to the athletic club. I was just not feeling it today. The inflammation in my joints was kicking too. So I just laid on the couch and just slept half the morning. So I got up and did a little work, but I'm taking my time on the Dating Bible. Okay. I'm taking my time and I'm gonna do it right. Okay. Let me check something real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and get going here. Let me check something real quick. Hold on, y'all. I gotta check something. Something ain't right here.
I don't know what's wrong with I don't know what's wrong with this thing. For some reason, you know what? Have y'all noticed Facebook been having a lot of technical issues? Have y'all noticed that? Because I'll be wondering why it is that stuff is not showing up on. You know, sometimes this platform, I'll be having issues with it. Just ridiculous. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us at such a late time. For some reason, you know, we got it together now. Anyway, want to welcome you to the Iceman Show podcast. And what I wanted to talk about tonight is, you know, I keep going back and forth with a lot of especially black women about voting. And they just don't get it. They don't get it, brothers. They don't understand. Black people, you have to understand how this country works. And until you do that, you're going to be on the sideline. You don't understand how you are gullible. Most black people are economically naive, politically naive, and socially naive. We believe if we sit here with our hands crossed on our desk like we did in the second grade, and we click our heels 10 times and we say, you know, now lay me down to sleep and pray to white Jesus. We do this stuff and then we wonder why it doesn't work. You think if you do that, if you go to church every day, if you mind your own business, if you be a good coon or a good mammy and a good Negro bedwench at work, that the white supremacists are going to be hands off of you, but hands on all the rest of us. And let me just say this: for you to even think like that, for you to even be a black person in America and think like that, and think that it's okay for the white supremacists to have a hands-off approach with you, but have a hands-on approach with the rest of us because we're a bunch of troublemakers. You're worse than a white supremacist. You are worse than a white supremacist. See, I grew up in the house with a father that was a white supremacy denier. He denied white supremacy at all costs unless that particular day the white supremacist did something to him. And then he'd come home and be sitting on the couch, all face all, you know, jaws tight, face all contorted. And then I come in the room, hey, Dad, sit down. My dad might be watching the news or something. I sit down on the couch next to him. He like, man, these honkies won't let me have nothing. And I'm looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about? He would say crazy stuff like that. But all the other times, he was like, white supremacy, what's that? But he'd be at work buck dancing huckabucket and bojangling for his job, because I worked summers there sometime, and then I ended up working there permanently after I dropped out of college, before I went to the military, years before I went to the military. And, you know, so I was a, 19, 20-year-old kid working
with grown men. You know, I was working with grown men, 30 and 40 and 50, 60-year-old grown men. I was a skinny little kid working with these guys. So I had to man up quickly. Okay. And like I said, I observed my father at work, buck dancing and bojangling. Any other time, he was one of them kind of old civil rights Negroes who was, you know, hey, white supremacy, what's that? Just in denial, selectively in denial. And it was sickening to see that. It was sickening. It was sickening for me to bear witness to that. Let me tell you guys a story, because a lot of black women are just under the impression. By the way, if you're on Facebook Live, you're watching me on Facebook Live, please hit the like button. Hit the like button for me. If you can do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, YouTube Live. If you're listening live, if you like what you hear so far or the topic, hit the like button for me, players. All right. I was listening. I forgot who I was listening to, but this story was very, it was a very interesting story. I was listening to somebody on YouTube probably about 3 years ago. And they said that they were telling this story about a black woman who had been best friends with a Caucasian female ever since I believe, either high school or freshman year of college. I think it was high school. They decided to go. They were best friends through high school. All that's the best of friends. The sleepovers at the black girl's house, sleepovers at the Caucasian girl's house. Parents knew each other. They both came from middle class backgrounds, so they both decided to go to the same university. I believe they both went to University of Florida together. So they were besties all during this time. And so they ended up getting hired at the same corporation. No, take that back. They got hired at different corporations in the same city. Something happened to the black woman's job, and I think she was either laid off or she got terminated. I think she got laid off or downsized. And which, you know, to a certain degree, you know, no matter which one of them happened to you, you're still out of a job. So I guess it doesn't matter what really happened. You just without a damn job. My candles be burning too fast, man. I'll be buying these candles, man. I'll be spending probably about $30, $40 a week on candles, man. These candles be burning too damn quick. Anyway, but it gives you that player effect, that relaxed player effect. So I love candles anyway. But anyway, the black girl was searching for a gig, and the Caucasian female knew of a position in her department. And her and her friend were talking about this opening at the Caucasian woman's job. And you know, fast forward, somebody else got hired in the job. And the black, and I'm paraphrasing this story, by the way. The black woman was like, kept asking her friend, about the job. And the Caucasian woman just kept blowing her off. And so finally the black woman she was like, look, look, Becky, what's happening with that job? I need to get that job so I can get them ends. And what ended up happening is that the Caucasian female walked a Caucasian friend of hers resume into the human resources and had her bid on the job, walked her resume into human resources and said, look, I'm vouching for this person. You need to give her the job. And the Caucasian woman's Caucasian friend ended up getting that position. And the African-American, the black woman finally checked her friend, her so-called bestie. And she said, what's up with that? How you gonna get this? I'm your best friend. How you gonna get the Caucasian, this, I don't even know this woman. How you gonna get her a job? And the Caucasian a woman's response was she didn't say these exact words, but she said something that was near what I'm getting ready to say. Basically, and I'm paraphrasing what the Caucasian woman said. Obviously, I'm getting it fourth, fifth hand, ear hustling. She said, well, she's white, and I need to get her a job. She needs a job. She straight up told her. She didn't say it that direct, but she was like, look, she's white. She needs a job. So white supremacy superseded their friendship. Y'all see where I'm going with this? See, this is the stuff that black women don't get about white supremacy, and as well as, sell out beta male coons and bojangling sneaky Pete's out here. These young coons and old coons. They don't get it. That white supremacy is always going to supersede your friendship with Caucasian people. Very rarely are you going to have a Caucasian friend or even a family member through marriage who's going to put your relationship over white supremacy. Very few of them are going to do that. You might not even be able to count them on one hand. This is why you need to be gamed up so you don't be lame. And a lot of us don't want to do that. A lot of us want to sit around and keep digging our heads in the sand and saying, oh, white supremacy don't exist. It hasn't touched me yet. I got a good job. I work for FedEx. I make $18 an hour. I get all the OT I want. I make, 65 a year. I got a little, Mustang. I got a little brand new Mustang. I got a little nice 1-bedroom apartment. I'm balling. Real talk, you ain't balling. Now, if this was the 1980s, yeah, you would be balling with that. But today in this economy in 2018, that ain't balling. Having a brand new car and living in an apartment ain't balling, especially a 1-bedroom. Now, if you had a 2 or 3-bedroom apartment and you had it just pimped out with some beautiful furniture, some African effects and all kind of stuff like that around there, yeah, sisters would be impressed with that. Or you bought a condo or a townhouse. That's one thing. But if you just living up in a 1-bedroom apartment, anybody get a 1-bedroom apartment. if you don't understand white supremacy and racism, you need to get on board, dog. I'm serious. You need to learn. You need to learn. You need to get your pad and pencil out and learn. Because again, we're naked out here. We are naked out here. We are exposed. We are insecure. And we need to, brothers, we got to stand up, stop being cowards. Stop letting white supremacy beat us down, and we don't try to, respond any kind of way. And the reason why we're in the condition that we're in today is because we've been sitting on our hands for the past 60 years. The civil rights movement didn't do anything for us. And we need to understand that and embrace that. Now you got black folks out here running their mouth talking about, oh, Iceman, you against voting. Oh, you ain't right. And all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, dude, our forefathers and mothers fought for the right to vote. Yeah, but you know what? That right to vote means nothing. And that's why tonight we're going to talk about voter suppression and why, they're attacking voter rolls. We're going to talk about that in a minute here. Like I said, something's not right here. Something is not right. Something's not right here. And I don't know why, but it's not showing. I don't know if they changed their format here. I don't know what the deal is, but I can't even see people online. And usually it shows people online, showing who's online and all that. And it's just getting on my nerves. Anyway, somebody asked on Facebook, the last broadcast, why, well, if voting is a waste of time, why are they trying to suppress the vote? That's because that's near and dear to your heart. They're not doing it because you're going to gain any power through it. They're doing it because that's near and dear to your heart. Whatever is near and dear to black people's hearts, that's what they try to destroy. That's what Dylan Roof was doing when he shot up that church. He was showing black folks that the church was no longer off limits to violence. That's what he was trying to convey. And black folks still didn't get the memo. Remember back in the 60s when they bombed that church and killed those 4 little girls? That was during my childhood. They were bombing churches in the South, left to right. Why? Because that was near and dear to black folks' hearts. And on top of that, we held church in high regard. But one of the most important reason why they were bombing churches back, and they still are bombing churches and mysteriously burning down black churches in the South, and they've been doing it ever since, is because church a lot of times is the meeting place for black people to talk about social issues. Because you have to understand, back in the 60s, the churches that had ministers who weren't coons, they were getting down to business. So the church is supposed to be separate from politics, but back then that's the only place that they could get all black folks together. So they started bombing churches. They were sending a message that, hey, we ain't gonna have this. And so they started meeting in people's houses. Anything that black folks try to use that's outside of black empowerment, as far as building black businesses and supporting black businesses, Anything outside of that is a waste of your time. Because if you don't have a mechanism, a social, economic, and political mechanism in place that can punish politicians who don't do our bidding at the state capitol, at city hall, the state capitol, or Congress, or the office of the president, we're going to punish you. You understand me? Even though Bill Clinton put through, I don't know how many bills that either destroyed black men directly or destroyed the black family directly, they still went after him because of that tax cut that he put through. He put through a tax cut where it raised taxes on the rich and on corporations, but lowered taxes on the middle class. And if you remember, in the early 2000s, a lot of black folks got money, especially during the internet blowing up during the late 90s, early 2000s. That tax cut helped black folks a lot, but that was for everybody. It wasn't just for black folks. So what I'm saying is it is crucial that we understand that anything outside of black empowerment is a waste of your time. And even though they are suppressing voter rolls, even though they're doing that, voting is still a waste of time because you can't reward or punish your candidate, your boy or your girl that you trying to put in office. You can't reward or punish them. That's why, if you notice, black politicians will go to Washington, D.C. or the state capitol or city hall, and they will do absolutely nothing for us. Just like Obama did for how many years? 8 years. 8 years. Mr. Obama was in the White House and he turned his nose up at us. Every time somebody asked him about doing something directly for black folks, what was his response? Well, high tide lifts all boats. That's what his response was when somebody asked him what he was going to do to empower black people. And he basically said that. And that response, what that translates to, I'm here to help everybody. I'm not here to help specifically black people. And you have to understand this guy's background. He does not come from slave stock. So his attitude toward black folks, you see, if you notice, Obama didn't really get down with the boule crowd, with the black bourgeoisie. Did you notice that? He didn't get down with them. He didn't kiss babies and shake hands with Jesse Jackson and all them. He spit in their face. Remember that? Remember when Jesse Jackson was talking on the hot mic, talking about doing something to his scrotum sack? Remember that? But yet, when Obama won, Jesse Jackson out there boo-hooing. Y'all remember that? He out there foaming at the mouth. But what it was, Obama wasn't kissing his behind. Because Obama knew he didn't have to use the black power structure to get into the White House. And that's one of the reasons he didn't show up to Aretha Franklin's funeral. He was close. I mean, he knew he was down with Aretha Franklin. Didn't she sing at one of his inaugurations? I think she sang at the first one. I think Beyonce sang at one of them, and Aretha Franklin sang at the other one. They were very good friends with Aretha Franklin, him and Michelle Obama. And he just straight ghosted her funeral. Why? Because he did not want to be seen on camera with those Negroes. Slave stock. My daddy was Kenyan. My mama was white. I don't come from slave stock. That's why I keep telling black folks, y'all sitting up here, propping up Obama, and he didn't do nothing. He didn't even recognize you. What did he do to black folks? He sang a poor rendition of Let's Stay Together, one of Al Green's song. He totally ruined that song. And then he told young black men to pull their pants up. Sound like somebody else you know that's sitting in a prison cell right now? The pound cake speech? Get out of here. Voter suppression. The reason why they're trying to suppress the vote is because they're trying to let black folks know that, hey, we know you love voting, so we're going to make sure that we make it very difficult for you to vote. But my thing is, if you go, now I voted through the mail. Luckily, I live in a state where you can vote through the mail. So I voted through the mail. Because I ain't standing in no line voting on election day. I'm not wasting my time. I voted on initiatives. That's the main thing, environmental and law enforcement initiatives. And I did vote for a candidate for Senate and Congress and both of them are Democrats. I'll give them a chance. I told y'all that Tuesday. I don't have a problem voting for you once, but if I vote for you once and then you screw me and you don't do anything, if you try to screw over vets or you try to screw over black folks, I'm going to be one of the main ones in the street making sure you don't get reelected. Because I live in a red district. Because like I told y'all, I don't live in Seattle. And I can tell y'all right now, it's a lot of white supremacists up here. There's a lot of white supremacists in Portland, and there's a lot of white supremacists in the whole state of Washington. Okay? They definitely expect to have their butts kissed by a black man. And when they don't get it, they looking at me crazy. They're probably saying, oh, he ain't from here. I'm not from here. Everybody go to asktheiceman.com, asktheiceman.com to look at check out some of my life coaching packages. If you need career advice, if you need education advice, post-secondary advice, if you just went through a bad relationship, divorce, you need to know what's going to be the next chapter in your life. Hire me as your life coach. Go to asktheiceman.com and check out some of my life coaching packages. We do FaceTime, we do Skype, we do phone, email, and we also do in person. Okay, if you live near me, if you live within 100 miles, I'll come see you. If you live within 100 miles, I'll come see you. Okay, we can sit down and I'll rent a room I'll rent a conference room and somewhere, and we'll sit there I'll sit there in front of you as a professional, not as the Iceman. and I will help you get where you need to go. So go to asktheiceman.com. Let me put some of that information in here. Because I get emails all the time about guys talking about, hey man, let me hire you as a life coach. And I'm just like, okay, here's what you need to do, brother. And I got brothers who need help from career advice, guys that need young brothers that need advice on going to school, going to the military, you know, anything like that. I can help you with it. That's my background, mental health. And so when you look at voter suppression, it is only an issue. Look, when you go vote, if you go vote at the polls, which I haven't done in 20 some years, when you go to the polls to vote, ladies and gentlemen, aren't you supposed to have your ID already? Huh? Now, my mom used to run polling places. My mom used to run polling places at the elementary school we used to go to. So we used to have to get up all early in the morning. I hated it. We'd have to get up all early in the morning, be cold. Then we got to go over there to the polling place at like 5 something in the morning. We didn't have to go to school till 8 something in the morning. So, we had to sit there, half sleep. And, most of the time my mom wouldn't even let us go to sleep. And I was just like, what's up with this? And so, my mom would say, look, we couldn't vote when I was a young woman, I couldn't vote. And this is important. And I understood that. So I didn't give my mom a hard time about that. But, as I got older, I started figuring out, hey, we up here voting for these Democrats and they getting in office and they just totally ignore us. What's up with that? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different and more improved result. That's not the definition of insanity. That's insanity, but it's also retardation. How bad, how stupid. I mean, look, I don't want to use words like stupid, but Black people, I got to start calling you out, man. You sitting up here thinking that Stacey Abrams becoming the first Black woman governor of the state of Georgia is a big deal, but you won't peek behind the curtain and check out the production. You just love the show. Remember I did that show when I was driving to Houston back in 2011? I wonder if that show is still on, because I think I still got it on that cell phone. Anyway, Black people, wake up, man. Little boo-boo. I want to believe that our sister Stacey Abrams is going to do a great job. I want to believe that, but I also know that a black politician being voted into an office, a political office, they're not there to stamp out white supremacy. White supremacy is still going to be in effect. Atlanta is the capital of Georgia. And if you look at the color code of Republican swaths of, groupings of Republican voters versus Democratic voters, you got, Macon is blue, Savannah's blue, Atlanta's blue. But then all of the areas outside of Atlanta, going out to them woods and out there into them rolling hills, which Georgia's a beautiful state, by the way, beautiful, but it's run by evil white supremacists. I hated the spirit that surrounded the whole Atlanta area. It was just a level of evil. And that's the one thing that got to me. Spiritually, it got to me and it messed with me. But I knew I was there for a purpose. I wanted to be there for my 3 kids. I wanted to be there for them, and I wanted to be close to them. So instead of moving closer to Black Atlanta, I was way out there in Paulding County. And if you know Atlanta, that's like 40, 45 miles away from Atlanta. I wasn't even in Atlanta. Real talk. Because I even met a couple of my listeners, one of which was, is a good friend of mine. Brother looked out for me. I needed him for something, and he was there for me. What's the name? Ansel 1961. He pops in here every now and then. Hey, Ansel 1961, man. Hope you're doing all right, brother. Much blessings to you from Allah, and I hope you're doing okay. I mean, he pops in here every now and then. He's a busy brother. But blessings to you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and love you, brother. But I met a couple of listeners, and I said, hey man, I hate it here. The only reason why I'm here is because of my kids. My love for my children is why I went there. Real talk. But I hated the moist black men, the homo black men. Well, I mean, it was brothers walking around. I seen a big old chunky brother I used to ride to the stop, ride, how they had a ride, parking rides. So I would drive to the parking rides to get on the light rail, and I would, it'd be cheaper for me to just do that. And so I would park at the parking ride, get on the train. And man, I remember one time there was a big old juicy coon. Man, this dude had pink. He had his hair cut in a mohawk. He had his hair dyed pink, and he had some tight jeans on that were too small, so his back fat was hanging out. And then he had on some pumps. So he had on some 3 or 4 inch heel pumps, and I was just like, I gave him a nasty look because he looked ridiculous. And he looked at me. He was so embarrassed. That dude was so embarrassed. I was like, if you don't stop, man, if you don't get out of here. See, if we look, man, and you got Caitlyn Jenner, she, whatever that, talking about, Donald Trump, I supported you, and then you're going to sit here and you're against LGBT. What do you expect? Most of that is coming from Pence, though. Because he, you know, them white evangelicals, they are no joke about that homosexuality. They don't play that. They can have a homosexual daughter or son, and they'll be still out there talking about down with homosexuality. Okay, let me tell you something about Mike Pence. If you think that dude that be on the 700 Club, what's his name? What's that Martian looking dude? That old dude, the old white dude. What's his name? Somebody post. What's that guy's name? He be talking crazy. Who's that? Who's the white dude on the 700 Club? I forgot that dude's name. I be forgetting his name. But hey, they show that up here. They show the 7. Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Y'all see, man, people be thinking because it's the Northwest, all these Pat Robinson, right? Thank you, brother. People be thinking because you know, this is the Northwest that, you know, ain't no racism up here. Ain't no white supremacy up here. Let me tell you something, dude. If the 700 Club is on my cable, my basic cable lineup, if they're showing that, because they show it on Fox, we got a Fox station up. We actually got Fox Plus and a regular Fox station. And of course, they're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, which is another prevaricator of propaganda. Y'all know about them. They're a publicly traded company. Anyway, if they're showing the 700 Club up here in the Northwest, Pat Robinson's behind, then you know, you know it's some white supremacists up here. I remember one time they were talking about mac and cheese on his show. And there was a white woman up there, a Caucasian woman up there talking about mac and cheese. And she was talking about this mac and cheese recipe. And he said, mac and cheese? He's like, what is that, some urban thing? He didn't want to say black. He said, that must be some urban thing or something like that. Man, I can't believe Pat Robinson's still around. He be looking like he about to go to sleep. And the Lord said, down with the darkies. Voter suppression. Put all black men in prison. I just believe that the Negro is the descendant of Ham, and all Negroes need to receive white supremacy. That's how I feel. Down with the Negroes. That's Pat Robinson all day. All day. And twice on, oh my God. Here we go with the kicking me off Facebook. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook Live, man. I don't understand it. They just be straight kicking me off. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Shoot. Trying to get this right. I think Facebook's having a lot of IT problems. To really be honest with y'all, I really do think they be having IT problems. Because sometimes, man, it be stuff happening, and I'll be like, man, they'll just kick you off of there. So I'll be wondering if they be having server problems. Because that used to didn't be the case. Having too many server problems. You digs? So we're gonna try to get this popping here. Let me see something. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I figured something was wrong with it because I posted some stuff on there and it didn't work and it didn't show. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, Virginia. Oh, Virginia's a racist state, boy. Woo! Beautiful state though, but racist. It seems like everybody I know that's from that Richmond area, they like dog or Newport News. They like, dude, VA ain't no joke. He said 115 by now. Exactly. He was old then. Okay, he was old then. He what is he, 80 something? He in his late 80s. And he be like, and then he just be mumbling. I'm like, that dude ain't got dementia yet. I know at least 5 people that got dementia in the last 3 or 4 years. This fool's still sitting up here in front of a camera. He got to be about 90. Exactly. Farting and napping. Are we going to go to Old Country Buffet? Hey, are we going to go to Old Country Buffet after the show? Or are we going to go to Cracker Barrel? Hey, man, let me tell y'all something. Remember Douglas Wilder, the brother that barely won the governorship of state of Virginia? He's an Omega, he's a Q. And a lot of black people from VA pulled my coattail on him. They said, "Oh, Douglas Wilder, he was kissing white behind the whole time he was in office. He barely made his first tenure. He barely made it through his tenure because them white folks was giving him a hard time." Okay. But Douglas Wilder got in there and became the first black governor of Virginia, and he didn't do nothing for his people. He did an Obama move. Okay. He's a lawyer and actually a veteran. The veteran of the Korean War. Nice looking white girl. Anyway, sister got a little bootay too. Damn. I'm like the little chocolate sisters with the with that little shelf. I like that little shelf. You go and put that drink on there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody everybody make sure you hit the like button. But voter suppression, just because they're trying to suppress the black vote, doesn't mean that your vote counts. They just know that that's important to black folks, and their way of crapping on you is to suppress the vote. So you can't sit here and just buy into that and say, oh, they know the vote is important. That's why they're trying to suppress our vote. No, they're suppressing your vote because as weak people, oh, here they go again. Oh my God, look at this brother with this old white woman. Let me. I'm getting booted out of Facebook. Let me try to see if I can get back in here. Shoot, man, this is becoming a serious problem here. Yeah, this is becoming a problem. I think they software is messed up because some of the screens are not showing up. Yeah, some of these screens are not showing up. So yeah, bear with me here, Facebook. Bear with me here. I don't know what's going on here, but starting to affect my flow. Anyway, just moving on. We got to stop putting all our eggs in one basket. And that's what voting is. When you vote, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. Okay? Instead of putting all your eggs in a black empowerment basket, you keep putting all your eggs in baskets that can be snatched away from you by the white supremacists. Y'all see where I'm going with this? The Voter Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act not one time acknowledged black people per se. It was for everybody. So all the so-called Latinos, poor whites, humpbacks, little foots, big foots, little toes, humpback whales, all of them benefited without doing any work because black folks want to get out here and get hoses shot on them and get beat in the head by police billy clubs and being killed and bombed by white supremacists. And everybody benefited from the Civil Rights Act as well as the Voter Rights Act. Everybody did. There's not one legislation, even the 13th Amendment to the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, if I'm naming it right, that so-called emancipated slaves still, he said, get a sandwich. All right, Brown Sausage, how you doing, brother? Love you, man. Thanks for the donation, player. We still, that legislation still didn't technically emancipate us. I'm going to read it one of these days when I got a little bit of time. I'm going to sit down and read it. And because I've heard scholars, black women, men and women. I think the late great Dr. Henry Henry Clark said something about this. I think I might have seen a video of him on YouTube where he said something about this. But the last time I saw this, it was a professor, a sister who was I can't believe what kind of discipline. I think she was a sociologist, but she was a PhD, and she said that the Emancipation Proclamation really didn't technically and legally release us from slavery. It kind of left us in limbo, and we just never questioned it because we just wanted off them plantations. They just wanted us off them plantations. We just wanted off them plantations, and then ended up going to prison camp. They're putting us in prison, working us for free in prison camps indefinitely, sometimes for life. Hey, back in the 70s, they had the remember what was it, the Jonesboro Boys? What was that? This was back in the 1930s. These young brothers got arrested and sentenced for doing absolutely nothing, just being black. and they ended up going to prison till the 60s. They were in prison for like 30 some years until they got released, and they did a movie on it back in the mid 70s when I was a little kid. And I was just, that's when I really started getting a historical perspective on historical and systemic white supremacy and how they do us. And that's why, and yeah, some of y'all, yeah, we done had issues. You know, some of us done had our, you know, last crucible, me and you done went back and forth about stuff. And, you know, some other cats we didn't see eye to eye on. And the thing that I want to say to you is that apparently you are man enough and I'm man enough to look past our differences to see that we all need to be on the same, we all need to be on code. Okay? Because last crucible, that's a deep brother. Okay? And that's why I think the last show I did, one of the last really good blog talk radio shows I did was The Psychology of Mackin. And my man called in and he was one of my guests. He's one of my guests on the show. And we talked about a lot of deep stuff. And for some reason, I took that off of there. I should have left it on there. And then I uploaded it on YouTube, but I put it to private. Because a lot of cats wasn't, you know, a lot of cats was kind of faking the funk on supporting the show. But voter suppression, don't read too much into that, man. See, you got to understand, voter suppression is also a diversion. Because, you know, white supremacy is about deception, diversion, projection, and denial. Those are the four main tenets of white supremacy. Deny it exists, even though we're the ones exercising it on you. Project our low self-esteem and our inferiority on you, because that's what they do when they call you the N-word and the C word and all other assorted offensive names. Black people. That's a diversion, because you could be sitting, and they also know it's easy to get black folks' attention trained on one thing. Black folks have had their mind trained on one thing. Okay, voter suppression. Let's focus all our energy on this. And then over here, the cops are still shooting black kids and black women and black men in the street. Y'all see where I'm going with this? It's a diversion. Be smart enough to look past that. I always keep my attention on multiple things, because I know as soon as I take my mind off one thing, I'm going to get got. So I pay attention to multiple things because I know these folks don't rest. They are always on code in trying to subjugate us. And voter suppression is a way to subjugate black folks, put you in a position where you can't exercise something that is a right for you based on the Voter Rights Act. But again, you can't put all your apples in one basket. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be paying attention to multiple fronts, because they're going to attack you at all times. Let me explain something to you. If there's a drug peddling ring and there's 15, 20 people that's involved and there's multiple stash houses, you know what they do? When they go to the judge and they get a search warrant and an arrest warrant from the prosecutor and the judge, you know what they do? They say, look, we have probable cause to believe that all three of these houses are fronts for drug pushing and drug manufacturing and money laundering and money stashing. We need, and so what do? They get a search warrant and an arrest warrant for all these different individuals at all three locations. And guess what they do? They go get the SWAT team. They go get, they'll go get if whoever, depends on whose operation it is. Let's just say if it's the DEA will go get local law enforcement. They'll go get DEA. They'll have DEA, the case managers on. They'll have the special assistant, what do you call it? ASA, assistant special agent, or the special agent in charge on duty. It'll be him or her. And then there'll be 10, 15 of their agents, but it'll also be local deputy sheriffs or municipal police officers. Y'all see where I'm going with this? And what will they do? At 3:30 in the morning, they'll hit all three houses. So there'll be 100 cops descending on three houses. That's why they do that. Because what happened if they hit one house by itself, what you think that guy's gonna do? He's gonna get on the phone and he's gonna call the other houses and say, look, we getting hit. And then they gonna flush all the product down the toilet, or they gonna go and take they're gonna take everything that's incriminating out of the house. And this is why black folks always get we always get arrested and we go to get these lengthy prison terms. Why? Because we don't ever think that the white supremacists is going to get us. We always think we could just keep breaking the law and we just ain't going to go to jail. And that's not true. Please believe. Don't get it twisted, players. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Facebook, I apologize for me getting kicked off the server. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, but we're gonna keep the party going, all right? Y'all go to my website and support the show, Facebook. Donation to my 501c3. A lot, you know what? When I did the show on Tuesday night, the one thing I noticed is that black people, especially black women and older black people, are white supremacy deniers. They want to deny that white supremacy exists. They want to say that, oh, what happened to our sister Sandra Bland was an isolated incident. Oh, what happened to Michael Brown was an isolated incident. No, they're not isolated incidences. They're not necessarily done by the same people, but they're done by people with their white supremacist ideology. One thing I'm going to say about Stacey Abrams, who's running for governor in Georgia. See, this is one thing that black women, especially black women, don't notice. Have y'all noticed that she's overweight? Have you noticed that she has the prototypical mammy look? And you know, white Southerners love mammy. Matter of fact, Caucasian people all over America love overweight, mammy type black people. She may not be a mammy, but you have to understand the thinking, because how is it that a black woman in Georgia, the state of Georgia of all places, the Southeast, is popular amongst Caucasian voters in Georgia? Did y'all see where I'm going with this? That's what's going on here. Do you really, let's just say Stacey Abrams looked like Halle Berry, or she looked like Alicia Keys, or better yet, she looked like Omarosa's fine ass. Do you really think them white people will vote for her? No. You have to understand, Caucasians will go out there and they'll vote for Stacey Abrams for governor of the state of Georgia as a joke, because they'll be sitting around, yeah, we voted their mammy in. Yeah, mammy, mammy, I love you, mammy. Remember that? Y'all see, look, I'm giving you historical, reference here. The reason why the Caucasian people are supporting Stacey Abrams and she is leading in the polls is because she has a pie face, she looks like a mammy, and she's overweight. And you have to understand, mammy figures are comfort for white supremacists. You have to understand, a lot of these Caucasian people in the South and even some in the North, they receive sustenance from the breasts of mammy. She was the main one raising those white kids. And she was a source of comfort for those white children. Follow me. And so a lot of white supremacists my age and older who had a black nanny in the house, a black maid in the house, because a nanny is, you know, when a white woman, you know, Caucasian woman's in the house being a maid, she's a nanny. But a nanny really is a different job title, because a nanny is mainly there for just the children, but she still is asked to run the household, because if this is a family with money, they ain't, 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna, the parents might not even be there. The parents might be traveling all over the world making money, but also out there getting a swerve on. So who's left at the house to take care of the kids? Maria, who can barely speak English. I used to, man, look, I used to go to producers' houses in Hollywood, and we'd go over there to pick up scripts and stuff like that. And the producer would never be there. The kids didn't even speak English. The kids didn't speak English. These little white kids spoke Spanish. We were trying to talk to the kids and they couldn't speak English because the parents are never there. What the heck? Hey, man, I'll talk to y'all about that in a minute. Anyway, mammies, that mammy, the fat black woman with the big face and the rag on her head. When I look at Stacey Abrams on TV, that's what I see. And if I see that, because you have to understand, that's why Oprah's so popular. Not her channel though. She had to go back to black folks when she opened the OWN network, because they assumed that because Oprah was this huge daytime talk show star that would transfer over to the OWN network. And what they found out was the Caucasian women who loved Oprah on her show did not transfer viewership to her channel. So that's why she had to go to Tyler Perry and say, look, you're going to have to create some content for my network because I'm not getting advertiser dollars. Now she's doing better than breaking even. They're actually in the black now. But going back 5 or 6 years ago, the OWN network, she was about to shut it down because they couldn't even break even. See, this is why I try to explain to black people, you have to understand the mind of a white supremacist in this country. While they may love you as their maid, if you decide to go to school and become an accountant, get a bachelor's in business administration and accounting, and you take the CPA exam and you become a CPA and you go right back to that family you used to be a maid for and say, hey, Mr. Johnson, do you mind if you should hire me to be a CPA at your company? You know what that white guy's gonna say? No, thank you. Because he can't get out of his head that you were the fat black maid. And that's all he sees you as. That's all his wife sees you as. That's all his children see you as. During slavery and Jim Crow, on up to almost the 70s, these black women would be lactating and nursing these white kids, and the kids would grow up and call Mammy the N-word. I remember this old racist movie called Clara's Heart. And, you know, my ex-wife used to love them old Mammy, but she loved her imitation a lot. She loved all that old crying Mammy mess. I hated them movies. I said, hey, man, if you want to watch this mess, you watch this mess when I ain't home. I ain't trying to watch all this old Mammy going back to the antebellum slavery movies. And there was this movie that Whoopi Goldberg did back in probably mid-90s called Clara's Heart. And the little boy, Neil Patrick Harris, he was the little boy in the movie. And what's her name? Whoopi Goldberg was the was like a maid for this white family. And toward the end of the movie, Neil Patrick Harris' character called her the N-word. And I looked at my ex-wife and I said, that's how they see us. We can sit up there and rock their babies to sleep, nurse their kids, and they will still call us the N-word. Why? Because that white supremacy ideology is taught to those children. Even when they're toddlers, they're like, now, Jemima is your maid, and I know you sucking on them things, but to get that nourishment, but she is an N, and she's beneath us. He says, Stacy, give me a break, Abram. She looked like Nell Carter, don't she? And see, boy, this little white girl got a shelf, boy. She got that little shelf right there. Like I said, there's some of these Caucasian women are dimes, but again, when they're that fine, they don't date black men unless you play in the NFL, the No Fun League. See, I've gotten those kinds of Caucasian women. But at the same time, they became too much trouble after a while. Because I'm not whining and dining nobody. We ain't going to the Capitol Grill every night. We're not going to Morton's Steakhouse every night. We're not going to Manny's Steakhouse downtown Minneapolis, getting a $90 steak. We're not going to Pittsburgh Blue out there in Maple Grove, Minnesota. where they, you know, which is another version of Morton's the Steakhouse. They built Pittsburgh Blue Light back in like 2010. And I've never been in there. I've been over there, but I've been in there to get a couple business cards, but I haven't taken any woman over there. Anyway, players, we got to stop denying that she would DJ B-side 1965. He said she wouldn't get with Lester Holt. No, brothers, listen, Stacey Abrams, mammies don't give good dome. They just don't give good dome. Brothers, get yourself a Caucasian woman. They're beautiful. They're all beautiful. You know, everything I pray for. Help me out, brothers. And everything I wanted your white tail to be. You are mother effing beautiful. That's just for all the players. Remember back in 2012, 2011 when I sing that song? Oh man, we used to have so much fun back then. God, we used to have so much fun. Oh man, I used to get flagged almost every week with some of them videos. Hey, the white supremacist was on me back then, bruh. Remember when I did that Broco Ono video? Oh, they flagged that video right off the bat. That video wasn't even on a full day before it got flagged. And everybody was trying, man scientist Jay, everybody was emailing me, Ice, what happened to that Broco Ono video? I'm like, bruh, they flagged it, man. They flagged it. The Asian people got mad when I did that video. Oh man. Oh yeah, the wish upon a star. When you wish on a star. Hoping and wishing. Wishing and hoping. Let me tell you something that a fat, really overweight, white and Caucasian woman told me when I was on POF heavy back in like 2011, 2012. You know what they told me? This was after I let them know I wasn't interested. You know what they said to me? Well, I was just hoping that, you know, I could, you know, find somebody and come up on somebody. And that's why I was talking to you guys a couple of months ago about that article I read where they were talking about they didn't want to come right out and say directly that most of the men and women on online dating are actually ugly or just unattractive or below average looking or average looking. They didn't want to come out and say it, but they said that online dating mainly is populated and supported financially by these types of people. And they go on there thinking that they can come up, you know, they can date up. You can be an ugly, fat, a single mom and just let me see brown sausage, one of them little interest emails. Hello there. Sin. Then the brown sausage get it and be like, ooh, Lord, you a big brontosaurus looking heifer. I ain't finna holler at you. And then you be like, not interested. Then they get mad. You ain't gotta send me no message talking about you ain't interested. Just don't reply. Remember that? Oh man, I love that, man. I used to get them good with that on POF, man. I used to get them good. Oh, I used to get them good, player. Oh, I used to get them good. I used to get them good with that, player. For sure, for sure. Oh, they used to get mad at me about that, man. I got, man. Exactly. Oh, they would get mad. You ain't got the, especially the black women. The real ugly black and fat black women, and the Hispanic women would just like, they just disappear. They'd be like, okay. But the black and the white ones, oh, they had to get mannish. You ain't gotta send me no message talking about you ain't interested in me. I would imply if you don't respond. Well, I've had some when I didn't respond, they kept sending me messages talking about how can you ain't respond? I guess ain't your type. I'm like, can't win for losing, dog. Can't win for losing. Did y'all see what DJ B-Side 1965 posted? Let me read what this fool wrote. Man, you need to stop, man. He wrote, I heard the founder of Me Too movement was trying to hook up with you, Ice. She says she takes pride that her nose is 2/3 the size of her face. Yeah, she probably offered her nose as a piece of ham. Because her nose is big enough to feed a family of 5 with ham sandwiches for the rest of their life. Okay. But I'm gonna tell y'all, man, y'all don't let that get lost on you. How Caucasian people, you have to understand, athletic, good looking, athletic, very attractive black men and black women. Do you notice? Have you ever noticed how Caucasian people give you nasty looks if you in shape? Have you ever noticed that? Because look, you have to understand something. I'm gonna get back to the white supremacy denier stuff in a minute, but I'm gonna talk about optics for a second. Have you ever noticed that, especially if you a brother in your, like, in which we will continue to, we're talking about real ramping up to middle age, your late 30s, 40s, and then 50s. When you get my age, when you in your mid 50s, you right in the prime of middle age. Okay? Brothers like me ain't supposed to have no sex appeal. See, this is what a young Caucasian woman told me. She said, yeah, you in your 40s, but your body is in shape compared to men my age. She said, I'm in my 30s. I'm 31 years old, and the men my age are, they want to sit on there and play them games. She said, you're in your mid 50s and you hit the gym every day. And she said, you have to understand that when they see that, when they see black men, especially, but black women too, if you got a banging body, ooh, they don't like that. Let me give you an example. Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can pull it up. Damn. I might not be able to pull it up. Let me see. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can do it. Hold, give me a second, y'all. Let me see if I can do it. Hold on. I'm gonna try to pull. I'm gonna show you something that one of my friends on Facebook posted on her page. You know, I'm gonna give you guys. Let me see. This thing always take a million years to pop up. Oh, that's not it. Let me see if I can find it. Man, this computer be pissing me off. Some of this stuff on here, I can't even see. I can't do a preview. I can't do a preview of memes or pictures on here because, man, this computer is be doing all kind of stupid stuff. Just pissing me totally off. Oh God, this is ridiculous. Because I'm trying not to go through all these pictures, so I can hurry up and show you guys what I'm talking about. And it's pissing me off that I gotta go through every last one of these damn things. Man, this is crazy. You've got to be kidding me, man. Maybe it's up here. No, not there. Four, 4, 6. Oh shoot. 4, 4, 6. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do it. Hold on. Oh, okay, it's not working. All right. Let me see if I can make this work, y'all. See if I can make this work. File. Anyway, I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to do it. But this sister's fine, man. She in her 30s, I mean, she in her 40s. And she posted these pictures of her. She got a 6-pack. Black women like that, they don't want black women like that in the forefront. Why you see this is the one thing I'll be trying to explain to black people, man. Y'all just don't get it, man. These television execs, this is what they talk about all the time. Is this person going, if I put this black person up there, is this black person going to be well received by Caucasian people around the country? And Caucasian people in the Midwest and in the Southeast have a hard problem dealing with race, especially. Not to say that other parts of the country don't have that problem either. You digs? But you can't go and get an Alicia Keys and say, oh, I'm going to run for governor. Man, you know how many Caucasian people be throwing stuff at her? They be like, oh, no, we going to have no attractive, curvy black woman up here, because that means, because you know, hey, let me tell you something. White males love Beyonce. Beyonce is our modern day Tina Turner. They love her. That's why she do all that booty shaking, because she knows they like that. If you let me tell you something. I have watched so much TV, especially on MSNBC and CNN, and you know what they say? I'm gonna tell you what they say. Ooh, Beyonce is gorgeous. They love them little yellow gals. That's what we used to call them when I was a kid. They love them yellow gals. They love them sisters that look like her, that are real pretty. They love women. You know, I ain't gonna say brothers ain't got a thing for Beyonce too. We do, but we ain't on her like that. We ain't on her like that, dog. But you don't let optics get past you when it comes to white supremacy. Stacey Abrams is safe. She's overweight. She has no sex appeal whatsoever. She's like comfort food for white supremacists. They feel comfortable in the South with a mammy. And I'm telling you right now, I guarantee her handlers knew that already. And that's why they put her up there to run. She's a lawyer. She's an attorney. Okay. She's an attorney there in Atlanta. Now, I tell you right now, she's going to get elected. And you know what's going to happen? She's just going to let, you know, they say, let freedom ring, or she's going to let white supremacy reign. White supremacy is going to be loud and clear and abundant under her leadership as governor of this great state of Georgia. Just like Andrew Gillum is going to allow Stand Your Ground to continue to be utilized to kill black people by Caucasians and race soldiers posing as police officers. That's why I be telling black folks, stop looking at skin color. Just because somebody the first black this or the first black that. My dad was the first operations manager at the last company he worked for. No, take that back. He wasn't the first one. He wasn't the first one. He was the first one in his first job at his first company. He was the first operations manager, black operations manager, after the old Caucasian dude retired. As soon as my dad went to school, they promoted him. Because at first they wouldn't promote him. They said, "Oh, you got to go get a college degree." So my dad went and got a degree in business. And as soon as he did that, he got promoted. And the type of Negroes he was managing, a lot of these Negroes couldn't even read. Can you believe that? A lot of them Negroes couldn't even read. Couldn't read. A lot of them didn't even graduate from high school. Yeah, they were old. They were older than my dad. If my dad is in his 80s, those guys were like 20 years older than him. They were old as dirt and working at hard labor jobs, the manual labor jobs, working in all that heat. They always had the black men in the foundry. That's where my dad worked. My dad was in the foundry, slaving. Yeah, my dad, you know, what else could black men get? And so that's why my dad was so enraged that me and my siblings didn't want to work in them factories. I was like, I got tired of washing my hand. Hey, remember back in the day when they used to have that real hard pink soap that came out that dispenser, that long little thing, and you go like this and it goes like this, and that old hard pink soap comes out and you wash your hand and you got to, it takes like 15 minutes to lather up and it destroys your skin. Oh man, I got tired of that. Oh yeah, they want to screw Beyonce just like they wanted Tina Turner. Tina Turner is mainly popular amongst Caucasian people, mainly Caucasian men. Let me tell you something. Beyonce could be on tour all year long in Europe. She could, because those Caucasian men in Europe love her. They love her. They love her over here, but you know, they'd be like, I ain't gonna say too much because you know I don't want my wife, you know, I don't want her thinking, you know, I want to tap that. Because let me tell you something. You listen to some of these Caucasian men on YouTube, a lot of them will tell you, hey, I wish I could get with a black woman, but I know my family ain't going to tolerate that. I'm going to lose my inheritance, bringing home a darkie. Hold on. Let me take a quick break real quick. We're back. You're tuned into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Facebook, you still with me? Yes. Okay. Don't let it be lost on you, the whole mammy factor with Stacey Abrams and the safe Negro deal with Andrew Gillum. Okay. Remember, all black politicians is white supremacy and blackface. That's it. Let me talk about this blackface thing. Let me talk about Halloween real quick before we get back into, to the deal here. Everybody's getting on Megyn Kelly's behind because she said, and I'm paraphrasing, that wasn't nothing wrong with blackface and it's not racist. People, be on the lookout when Halloween rolls around next week. Be on the lookout for all of the liberal Caucasian people who are going to be posting pictures of themselves in blackface. Juliana Huff did it, and then she apologized with her little white supremacist behind. And a couple other folks did it and quickly apologized. That's the new thing. Do something racist and then turn around and apologize, and it'll just wipe it out. Let me explain something to y'all, man. When a Caucasian person does that, goes out on Halloween or any other time in blackface, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not ignorant. They're not stupid. They know it's offensive. They know that it's not cool, not just even with black folks. Like I told this one mammy that tried to attack me on Facebook. She said, well, you're the one that's trying to stir the pot here on Facebook, talking about all this white supremacy stuff. I said, let me explain something to you, mammy. Mammy. Let me tell you something, mammy. The reason why we continue to have white supremacy and white supremacy is alive and well today is because of people like you who deny it exists. And so as long as you sweep it under the rug, even though the rug keep lifting up with that dirt, you think that's better than acknowledging white supremacy, which is ridiculous. Let me turn this light on. Oops. Okay. Got a little bit more light. So that's it. You got these white supremacy deniers out here that their mindset is, let's pretend like white supremacy doesn't exist. Let's pretend that we're not under attack by these white supremacists. And if we do that, it'll just go away. That's not it. There's only two ways you can fight white supremacy. Physically, with an AK. Freedom's got an AK. Remember that? Gorillas in the Mist. Y'all remember that album? Huh? Street Knowledge. Huh? That was a pretty good album, by the way. So you have to understand voting, stuff like voting, that stuff is it's coping mechanisms. Voting is a coping mechanism. It's a popularity contest, but it's also a coping mechanism. A weakling, somebody that doesn't want to defend themselves, they look for coping mechanisms in order to make them feel comfortable in being a loser. Like somebody with a loser mindset will get on drugs and not have a problem with being on drugs and allowing drugs to be a factor in their life. And so while as family members, you and I might say, how come cousin so-and-so keeps smoking crack? It ain't that they just a loser. It's deeper stuff going on. This person is broken spiritually. They're broken spiritually, and the way to fill that void is to escape. The way to escape is to get that quick high from smoking crack or freebasing cocaine. You get a bigger high from freebasing or smoking crack. A real intense high where they feel indestructible. That's how they feel. They feel indestructible. When you snort cocaine, I've never done cocaine, but what I have been told by people who did was that cocaine gives you a feeling of invincibility. That's why people that get on cocaine, they want to fight. Got jolly pies. You have to understand the mentality. See, in mental health, that's the kind of stuff we have to do. We have to dig below the surface and get into all the nasty, disgusting parts of somebody's psyche in order to help them. And sometimes you have to go into nastiness territory and make that person feel uncomfortable in order to shake that nastiness loose and to get them to clean out their closet. That's what you have to do with trauma victims. If a trauma victim, something happens to a trauma victim where they've been sexually assaulted and then they just don't care, they go out here and become a whore, become a prostitute. Well, yes, they're prostituting, but why are they prostituting themselves? Because they're broken spiritually and they don't care about themselves. They don't care if their Johns or their tricks wear a condom. So a lot of these prostitutes are on drugs. A lot of them ones that are renegading, a lot of them got the HIV and herpes. They got all kind of diseases. They don't eat right. They don't sleep because they constantly got to be out there hustling so they can feed that drug habit. But then at the same time, they're exploiting themselves. They're exploiting their womanhood and sometimes, in some cases, manhood by parting their booty cheeks and letting stuff happen to them. And when you get these people off the streets and you start working with them and talking to them and telling them that they matter and that their life does mean something to somebody, then they start looking at, they finally can get a clear head and say, look, I got to get off drugs. I got to get off the street. And that's why a lot of nonprofits like myself, they go out there and they get these women off the street and they give them a bed. They give them a safe place to live so that they can get clean. And they need that bed. They need to be in an environment where there's no criminal activity. This is a safe zone. And that's another thing. Black people, we have no safe zones. We used to have Harlem. We used to have parts of Chicago. We used to have parts of LA with the Central Avenue area. A lot of these areas, they're either being gentrified or they're already gentrified. Harlem, from what somebody told me, Harlem got more white folks than black folks now. Because somebody told me Sylvia's was bought by some Asian company or some white-owned company. I'm like, what? See, that's what happens when these people's kids, like the woman that owned, who my frat brother John H. Johnson, that passed Ebony and Jet magazine, the Johnson company, to the daughter, Susan Johnson Rice. She sold Ebony. She sold the Johnson company to, I believe, People magazine, their parent company. That's why you see all these articles in Ebony and Jet talk. Lord, I ain't seen Jet in years. You got to really go to a black area to see a Jet magazine. I live in an almost white state, so they might have them up there in Seattle, but I don't go to the black neighborhood in Seattle. Matter of fact, I don't even know where it is. And even if they do have one up there, I ain't going to look for it. Why am I going to look for the hood for? He said chocolate chip city. Okay. We have no safe zones, brothers. We have no safe zones. Where's our safe zone? Where are the areas where black art, black thought, black education, for brothers and sisters who need our help to come and get educated and get some help so they maybe get their lives together? We don't have that. See, black empowerment creates that. We need that area. So black artists, the next generation of Maya Angelou's and James Baldwin's and Langston Hughes. We got brothers and sisters, brilliant brothers and sisters out there like that, but they can't get no shine unless they coon or mammy or bedwench and Bojangle. Everybody knew that James Baldwin and Langston Hughes were homosexuals. It's a known fact. But did they walk around flaming? No. They knew better not to do that. This is why you can't trust homosexual males and females, black folks. Okay? Do you really think you can trust Don Lemon? Don Lemon is his boyfriend is a Caucasian dude. Really? And you think you're gonna get some black thought out of him? You can't get no black thought out of a black man that parts his booty cheeks. That's a whole nother show in and of itself. And I talk about that a little bit in this book. That when a black man becomes homosexual, when he looks for a homosexual lifestyle, basically what he's saying is it is not just the parting of his booty cheeks or him going up in another man's booty. It is submission, surrender and submission of his spirit to even want to be with another man. That's what he's really submitting and surrendering to is a system that he feels he can't win in. And what triggers that sometimes is being sexually assaulted or being molested by a man, and sometimes even a woman. I just looked at a This Is Life episode on CNN that I recorded. And they were talking to this real big, tall brother that was supposed to play college basketball. And he ended up not doing it because, he got molested by a nanny. So he became an introvert. He internalized that trauma and his externalization his behavior was to get totally, engulfed in just gaming and not talking to people, not socially interacting with people. Y'all see where I'm going with this? I studied this stuff for 3 years. So I know what I'm talking about. And if you talk about the collective, if you talk about the collective of Black people, not just Black people in America or in the Western Hemisphere, let's talk about in the Western Hemisphere, but even going all the way in certain areas of in countries on the continent of Africa, we have a mentality that we're waiting on a white savior. And there's no such thing as a white savior. There's no such thing as a savior of any kind. You got to save yourself, but you also got to work with others to do that. And that's why I be getting on brothers about donating to my show. Now, you ain't got to, I'm not talking about donating anything tonight, because that's not what I'm talking. We're not dealing with that tonight. But this on other days, that's why I say, hey, just like Saturday's coming up. We're going to do a preview of Saturday's show tonight before we wrap up here in a few minutes. I ask you to donate because, first of all, you're being a part of something. And those of you who those of you who have jobs or you have your own business, you're writing off these donations. That's what you're supposed to do. And you can either wait till the end of the year and just print out that PayPal sheet that shows all your donations aggregate, or you can print every time you make a donation, you can print out that piece of paper and keep it in your records. So in 2019, when you get ready to do your taxes with your tax man or woman, you can look, I donated over $1,000 to this nonprofit right here. And they'll be like, okay, how much was that? 1,200. Okay. Let me factor that in. And that's going to give you a tax deduction. So you'll get more. It might be able to give you a tax refund, a bigger tax refund. But you got to pay some taxes though. You can't be putting down that you got 10 kids like Negroes used to do back in the 80s and the early 90s. You can't do that no more. You're going to get audited. You can't sit up here and make $45,000 a year and not pay no taxes. And you got dumb Negroes out here that do that. And they get audited. And they get, man, they audited me, man. Why? Because you got 10 kids and you really only got none? Get out of here, man. Quit playing. Quit playing. Anyway, y'all, listen to me. You have to be a part of something. You have to learn how to support Black businesses. And that $10 that you donate on Saturday or before Saturday or after Saturday is your way of saying, I ain't going to sit here for 2 hours and listen to you kick game for free. Like you said, the information is free, that your time ain't. But tonight, we're not doing, if you want to donate tonight, that's fine. But I'm not exercising that you have to donate tonight. Because again, I wanted to do this show to do a follow-up as a part 2 to this voting nonsense. Because I get tired of Black folks sitting up here thinking voting is going to save their lives. And it's not. Voting ain't going to save your life. What's going to save our lives is building an economic base. And from there, that's why I wrote this the other Tuesday. You probably can't see it. It's probably backwards. It says economics at the bottom, politics right here in the middle, and social at the top. That's how you build a powerhouse. That's how you get your weight up. You focus on economics. How many of you come Black Friday are going to blow thousands of dollars on your no good relatives, huh? For Christmas. How many of you going to do that? You've been listening to me for 8 years. Some of y'all been listening to me for 8, 9 years. And you still going out here, going to church, still going to mass, and still buying them Christmas gifts for nothing. So instead of building this economic base so that we can punish and reward politicians or anybody else that messes with us, we sitting up here playing and turning up. In order to reward and punish, let me see if y'all can see this. In order to reward and punish politicians, bad cops, bad politicians, and anybody else, business people, you got to have this. That's why Asians, they don't vote. They concentrate on economics. They build their economics. They get their weight up so people respect them. That's the same thing Jewish people did in this country. They got their weight up. They didn't focus on politics. They didn't jump over economics and focus on this. This is what black folks do. Black folks try to avoid, black people try to do everything they can to avoid black empowerment. So they jump up to this level. Some of us jump up to this level. What happens when you don't have a foundation to stand on? Bloop. See what happens? When you jump up here before you build this, you jump up into the social part and the political part, what happens? Bloop. You fall, don't you? Because you can't reward and punish politicians, business leaders, bad cops in this country unless you have an economic base that people will respect. The reason why other races of people do not respect black people, including non-black people who come to this country, destitute, dirty, stinking, can't speak the language. You know why they don't respect us? Because we don't focus on this. We always trying to cape for somebody else. We caping for Sancho and Maria down at the border instead of saying that ain't my damn problem. So sad, not my problem. I ain't saying I don't care. I'm saying that ain't my problem. I'm focusing on Tyrone and LaQuisha's problems, not theirs, not Sancho and them's problem. That you want to go out there and pick lettuce and the white man kicking you in the ass while you doing it, that's your problem. That ain't our problem. You can't have this and this without this. And we don't get it. We don't understand that economics affects everything. You can't sit up here and spend 97% of all your money outside the black community and then get mad because our neighborhoods look like garbage. That's our fault, black men. So I'm trying to teach you one step at a time. Hey, donate money to my nonprofit so I can, the few black folks I can help, let me help them. But I can't do that for free. And you shouldn't want to do anything for free. That's why my hat goes off to the brown sausage and Triple T Kill and Mr. McMillan. Some of these guys donate almost every time I have a show. They're like, hey man, you ain't gotta ask me, Ice. I ain't gonna sit up there for 2 hours and watch you, or 3 hours watch you kick game for free. But some of you guys ain't got no respect for people. You ain't got no respect for yourself. You got a bootleg, living like a roach mentality and lifestyle. And you're going to continue to live like that until you figure this out. See, I figured this out. That's why I went and starting businesses and doing my own thing. It wasn't just because I was getting sick and I had physical ailments that were really giving me problems with me getting up every day and going to a job. It wasn't just that. Most of that motivation was because I start, reading stuff on Marcus Garvey and educating myself on Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and getting off the woe is me get the slave mentality, because I had it just like everybody else had it. But I realized that we had to start building this, because in order to, once you build this economics, see, I get respect individually because people know I ride. They know how I roll. I'm riding for you. Okay? We have to build this in order to punish and reward politicians at this level. And then the next level is social. And when we talk about social respect, we talking about walking out there and being respected by other races. You're not going to get respect here or here if you don't have this here. Economics. You see that? Yeah, I wrote it on a sticky note, but that's what it is. Economics is always at the base. If you look at Jewish people, they have it. If you look at Asians, they have it. If you look at white Hispanic, white Latinos, they're building that now. Now, obviously, the more black-looking Latinos, you know, they're having the same problems that we have. They get excluded in Latino circles in their community. The darker you are, you get called feo or fea, which means ugly. See, you got to understand their white supremacist mentality. That's why when you go turn to Univision and all these other little Hispanic channels, they always, you know, they still have really racist stereotypes. That comes from the Spanish. Okay? Reward the light-skinned folks and punish the darker-skinned folks. And you see, I saw it in Brazil when I was down there. When I was in Brazil, I saw it in Rio. I saw it in Sao Paulo. I saw it everywhere I went in Brazil. Big time in Brazil. When I went to Rio, man, the real dark African looking Brazilians, man, they were so friendly to us. But the white ones, they were so nasty. They didn't speak. If you tried to talk to them, they was like, you know, get away from me kind of mentality. I used to tell my cousin went down there trying to holler at them little nasty women. And I said, man, leave them white ones alone. They don't want to talk to you. Leave them alone. He running all up in their face. So it's ridiculous.
I've been hosting this show 9 years. That's the best demonstration I've ever seen.
Okay. So we have to, man, we got to get smart, man. We got to start studying. We got to wake up, man. Please wake up. Wake up, man. This ain't going to get no easier for us. You're going to have to fight one or two ways. I just talked about the economic way. The other, well, the physical way. The other way you can fight is economically. Cut that money off. You know why I watch CNBC every morning or during the day? I can barely stand some of them commentators on there. Have y'all ever seen that coon, that one lone black coon on CNBC? See, I watch these indexes, these ETFs, retail index, which is, you know, Target, Walmart, Kohl's. These are the main ones. Basically, that's the whole industry. When they say the ETF, when they say retail, manufacturing, logistics, okay? Everything's down right now. WTI crude, which is where the type of oil that's turned into gasoline that we use for gasoline in our vehicles. The crude price, the barrel price right now is about $67. I think it closed at 67. You digs? It closed at 67. When I get, mark my word, tonight, October 25th, 2018, it's 10:33 p.m. Mark my word. You're going to start, and I talk about this every year. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to my old shows from last year, the year before that, and the year before that, going all the way back to 2012. It's getting close to Christmas time. We're less than 2 months away from Christmas. So what they're gonna do? The barrel price right now is $67. Come next month, which we only about five or 6 days from November the 1st. When we get close, about the end of the first week of November, mark my words, magically, the price of a barrel of oil is going to slip down to about $50-some a barrel. And then right before Black Friday, it's going to slip back down to about $40-some a barrel, which is where it was about 2 years ago. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Because it actually got up to about $75, $76, $77 a barrel not that long ago. But it's already started that slip, because they don't want you to pay attention. They going like this, wink, wink, wink. But those of us who know better, who know macroeconomics, we ain't fooled. This is market manipulation, because they know if they drop that down, they have already studied trends. If we can drop the gas price down real low around right before Thanksgiving going to Christmas, they will take that money and spend it where? In retail. Y'all see where I'm going with this? These people are a bunch of manipulators. They're like that little midget wizard behind that curtain in Wizard of Oz. These people ain't almighty and all powerful. Brothers back in my day used to be like, man, mighty whitey. Whitey ain't mighty to me, because I know their deal. I know what's up with them. They don't fool me. They ain't all that to me. I done lived with too many. I done messed with too many of they women. I done lived with too many of they men. I done served in the military. I went to college with them. I know how they think. They don't fool me. They may fool you. They don't fool me. You digs? Stop being being fooled by white supremacy, because it looks like it's magical, and it's like, now you see me. It's like that movie, Now You See Me. They ain't that good. They ain't even as good as David Copperfield. Come on, man. If you really pay attention and you're not afraid of them. See, the problem with a lot of us, we're afraid of them because we think they're gonna do something to us. They're gonna take away resources, and they might take our lives. If you're scared like that, you're a coward. See, a defense mechanism and a coping mechanism is to do something doesn't work, but you do it anyway. And voting and protesting it's like when you come to them and say, okay, let's do something about Black empowerment. Let's teach our children coming up to be entrepreneurs instead of going to college and then going to work for some white-owned company. And they usurping that talent. Why don't we teach our young people, instead of going to college, why don't you just maybe take a couple accounting classes and learn business, and I'll help you set up a business. My son knows how to make cookies. His cookies are excellent. Let's get out there and sell them to the neighborhood. Let's get out there and promote this. Let's set up a business and we're going to have you making different types of cookies. We're going to make chocolate chip. We're going to make vanilla. There's these cookies that my dad know how to make. You know my dad would not teach me how to make them cookies. These cookies are excellent. They're like sugar cookies without the sugar on top of them. And he gave me the recipe, but man, I ain't got time to be making no damn cookies. And I don't have my kitchen ain't big enough for that. I got to be in a house to make that kind of stuff. Because I'll be having fun. I got some biscuits. I made some biscuits about 7 or 8 months ago. Man, I had flour all over the floor, all over the counter. Shoot, once I got a convection oven that's huge, that takes up half my counter over here. I got a microwave that take up space. By the time you put a can opener and a microwave on your counter, you barely got enough room for your damn sink. That's why I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to find a bigger. I really don't want to buy another house, man. But I was thinking about buying me a wreck house, one of them fixer-uppers, and just, putting some money into it and just pimping it out. But I got to see, I don't know if I want to be back east, because a lot of those cheap broken down houses, a lot of them are back east in the Rust Belt. And I don't know if I want to move back to that part of the country, man. I used to live in Lansing, and I lived on the west side in Grand Rapids. I was probably about, Lansing's about 75 miles from Detroit. And I didn't like it, man. There's a lot of white supremacists in Western Michigan. Oh, it's nasty. Central Michigan, where the central part of Michigan, where Michigan State is, they're a little bit more liberal. But Western Michigan, straight up red, straight up white supremacists, a lot of Dutch white supremacists, straight up. Can't stand them fools. I went to college back there. Okay. Always trying to start something with black men. You digs? You digs? So we got to do better. And the reason why they're able to gentrify all these former black neighborhoods and cities is because black men ain't building nothing. When you go work for your massa instead of working for yourself and building an economy like a lot of these Asians and these Arabs do when they come over here, and they also help each other. I be trying to help other black men. I've said to black men on Facebook, hey, all of us got all these damn degrees. Why don't we get together and let's build it. Let's put together a consulting company. Do you know a lot of these guys are my frat brothers? These guys won't email me back. They don't want to do nothing with no other black men. They want to sit up there and be a coon up in corporate America, kissing ass. That's why I be telling y'all, man. I've had brothers say to me, hey, Ice, why you always doing everything by yourself? Dude, I've tried to reach out to brothers that listen to me, and they talk all day. Yeah, Ice, we need to do this. We need to get out there and do black empowerment. As soon as I say, hey, brother, let's make that happen. Crickets. I won't even get a reply back. Why? Because these niggas ain't doing nothing. Like I remember this brother in DC that claimed he was a brick mason. And he's talking all this black empowerment. Oh, I got a successful bricklaying business. And as soon as I start checking him and said, hey, well, all this rigmarole, all this nonsense you talking, why don't you put that into effect? And guess what? Heard nothing from him. He just disappeared off the face of the earth. Don't say it's me. It ain't me, folks. It's not me. It's not me. It's them. I'm willing to put a few $1,000s aside for us to start a business together. But brothers ain't serious. That's why it's so hard to get $5 and $10 donations out of some of these black men. It's the same guys over and over and over and over again that donate. Maybe 2 or 3 that names I don't recognize, they'll donate. But for the most part, it's the same tens of folks who vote, who donate, who understand what I'm trying to build here. The rest of y'all are a bunch of freeloaders. That's really what you are. You're a freeloader. And let me tell you something. You know, I'm a buy the black, what's his name? Jason Black, that movie Race War. I'm gonna buy his DVD. He got a 3 DVD set coming out. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I would have went to his screening down in LA, but I wasn't gonna fly down there just for that. If I'd have had something else set up, like I was gonna go to Vegas or I was gonna see some family and stuff down there, yeah, some friends, yeah, I would have did it. But I was like, man, I ain't flying all the way down there to see no damn movie. But I'll support him by buying a DVD. But you got folks that won't even buy a DVD. They won't even. I told people, if you donate $50, I'll send you this t-shirt from my nonprofit. Crickets. It's the same people. It's the same people over and over again that support me. And that's not fair. It's not fair for 30 or 40 people to support me and the rest of the other thousands of people who look at my videos around the world, you too cheap and too stingy to get off your monkey behind and donate $5 and $10. But you'll go give that same, but you'll go give 50, you'll go give $80 to the gamers who sit around calling you the N-word. Them gamers that you love so well, you think because they nerds, they not white supremacists. And a lot of them are white supremacists. If you play those multiple player games that are played over the internet, a lot of them be in this, in that. But stingy, low down, cheap black people, you're going to get left behind because I guarantee you live like a roach. You live like a roach and you live like a bootleg roach. You're not even a real roach. You're a bootleg roach. You live like that. So you don't see any reason to be involved in anything in black empowerment. And that starts here. It's simple. $5 gets you in the game. $10 gets you in the game. And you get gamed up by yours truly, the Iceman. And you got guys that won't even buck up and be a man and be involved and be financially responsible. That's why don't complain about Bedford-Stuyvesant getting gentrified if you black males in that area are not buying those properties. If your parents own those properties and they will it to you, and then you go out here and sell it so you can trick it off and be at those strip club, what do you expect? Because those Hispanics and those Caucasians, just like they did in LA County, down in Los Angeles, LA County used to be Chocolate City. Now, black folks have moved way out. They either out there in the IE in San Bernardino County, Riverside County, or they moving up to Vegas, or they going up to the Yay area. Black people don't live in LA no more. Very few people live in LA. And in South Central, South Central is becoming, Little Mexico. They getting black folks out of South Central, man. I keep telling brothers this: when you don't own anything and you're not present as black men, don't get mad when Sancho and Becky and Bob and them move in, buy your property that Red Star, don't donate to super chat. I know I never put that up here. Look, everybody, don't super chat. Hey, come on, man. Y'all know where to donate. Come on, man. This don't never change, man. I never change. Please donate at Red Star. Go to asktheiceman.com and donate, man. Super chat doesn't work on here. I'm tired of trying to make it work. It doesn't work. Okay. But black men, we're not present. Black men are not present. Don't get mad. Don't get mad if your neighborhood was Sancho and them move into your neighborhood and Bob and them buy your property and move and turn your area into a hipster gamer paradise, because that's what they're doing in Minnesota. They're doing up there in the Twin Cities. Minneapolis is getting gentrified big time. They buying all the old bars, all the old stomping grounds for me and my cousins. And a lot of our friends used to go get drunk and have a good time and pick up women. Now they done changed. Now you go and it's under new ownership, new management, different vibe. Got all these fake ass hipsters sitting up in there with all they white supremacist tattoos all over them. That's what we get. That's one of the reasons I moved out of Minneapolis. I'll probably end up moving back at some point in my life, but right now I don't want to live there. I want to experience something else. But I'll be honest with you, man. They pulling that gentrification crap everywhere. But not just that, they are just taking over. You got too many lame, weak, cowardly black men who want to work for white daddy and white mommy and then get mad because somebody else is moving in, buying up everything. That's our fault, man. That's your fault. That's my fault, and that's your fault. That's your fault. That's your fault that you don't have a black safe zone. That's your fault. How many of you guys bought my book? How many of you guys bought this book? I'll wait. Thank you, brother. Yeah, everybody go to, if you're going to donate, go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button and go from there, because I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Somebody told me you got to have $100 in your account. I've had a couple $100 in there and it still didn't work. I don't know I ain't got time to try to make that stuff work. I set up a Patreon account. I don't know how to make that work. I'm just like, PayPal, look, just deal with me directly, deal with PayPal, and it's more secure if we deal with PayPal rather than dealing with somebody else. I can care less about Patreon and I can care less about Super Chat. It just makes it easier on everybody. Okay? But look, our communities look like crap because of us. It's our fault. It's our fault, man. You can't sit up there and take care of somebody else's house and then put your money in their pot and then come back home with nothing. And then, like I said, I've had black men say, hey, man, you e-bagging, man. Why you always talking about fundraising all the time? Because that's what we should be doing. Richard Spencer don't have to ask nobody for no money. Richard Spencer ain't got to ask nobody for no money. He doesn't. Why? Richard Spencer ain't got to ask nobody for a dime because his people will support him regardless. Okay? They will support him regardless. And we have to get that mentality too. We got to start having that mentality. Yeah, I heard about that. Emotional abuse. Really? The only way to beat somebody who's willing to cheat, which all white supremacists, including Jared Taylor, Richard Spencer, this dude Wilson over here with this Patriot Prayer. These guys are cheating out here on these streets. We trying to be moral and ethical and fight somebody who's unethical and immoral. You're going to have to get into guerrilla warfare. It's just like when we fought in Vietnam. We kept getting our asses kicked until we start figuring out how they moved. We was using, World War II tactics instead of guerrilla tactics. Small units, digging tunnels, living off the land. We got to get real, man. It's just like when people used to listen to my show when I first started doing the live stream, and people be on there, yeah, Ice, I donated. And I'm like, hey, okay, whatever. I took the people's word for it. And then after the show, I checked, PayPal, no donations from them, from that person or those persons that said they donated. And that's why I started coming on here talking crazy, because I was like, wait a minute here, man, don't lie. Stop lying. If you ain't going to do something, just don't do it. But don't come on here lying. But I had people doing that. Hey, Ice, I bought 5 copies of your book. I go check the manifest to see if 5 books were purchased, and no books were purchased or by that person. Okay. And I'm just like, dude, stop lying. And I've sent emails to these guys personally saying, sir, please don't do that. Don't lie. If you're not, look, I'm not starving. If you don't buy my book, I ain't gonna starve, because I didn't write that book for that reason. But still, you need to pay for it. And I said, look, sir, don't lie and say you bought my book when you know damn good and well you didn't. I didn't get a response, but I bet he got that email. So when I get men and women who come on here and say, hey, Ice, I donated, man. And then I look on there, I don't see that person's name. Because even though people don't use their real names, I know their username, but I know their real name. And if I don't see their name on there, then I know they blowing smoke up my behind. And you don't have to do that, man. Who am I? I ain't nobody. You ain't got to impress me. But don't sit here and lie. We got to stop lying, black men. We got to start taking care of business. Stop faking and shaking. It's our fault that Detroit looks the way it does. It's our fault that Detroit schools got poisonous water going up through its pipes and into the mouths and the bodies of our black children. It's our fault that these people, them city council and the mayor of Flint, are not sitting in a jail cell right now. Sitting up here they purposely diverted water from a clean source and was diverting that dirty, nasty, germy, high bacteria, high lead water into the homes of black Americans in Flint. That's our fault because brothers should have showed up with their AKs and did a citizen's arrest and say, y'all getting out of here. We ain't got riders like that no more. We had them back in the 60s and the 70s. We ain't got them no more. We got a bunch of moist black men out here lying, out here telling people, "Ooh, I did this. I voted today. I joined the NAACP." And you'll sit there and be like, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're not telling the truth, brother. No, you didn't." Or they'll go and join that type of stuff. You know, they'll say they're down with that type of stuff. And they won't do nothing over there either. And that's why I say I sometimes I do get on people because they be lying. I had a guy one of my first two shows. He didn't think I knew who he was. And he said, "Hey, Ice, I donated $5. And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." And I went to PayPal. I didn't see no $5 donation. It was like 20. There was somebody donated 10. Somebody donated 15. Somebody donated 20. Within about 10 minute period. But this person did not donate $5. And so I sent them an email off after the show. I sent them an email. I said, "Bruh, stop lying. You did not donate $5. "Yes, I did." "No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I know your name. I know your real name. And your real name ain't on PayPal donating $5, Negro. Stop lying." No response after that. We got to stop playing, man. Black men, stop saying you're going to do something and don't do it, because the end result is Flint and Detroit. Look at the city of Detroit. You got all these so-called hipster white people moving into Detroit, turning Detroit white. Detroit used to be used to be back in my day when I used to ride in Detroit and go to the strip clubs in Detroit and have fun. The D, Chocolate City, baby, Chocolate City. Not no more. Not anymore. And that's why I keep trying to tell black, I get on these black women. Yes, I do. But black women don't like to listen. Black women don't like to listen because they hate black men. And they're not used to black men like me telling them anything. So a lot of these black women got a problem with that. You understand me? They got a problem with that. I got attacked on Tuesday by a mammy. She said, you're speaking in Ebon. They always try to personally attack you. "Oh, you ain't that cute." I didn't know I came on here trying to be popular and cute. I'm on here trying to educate. By the way, preview for Saturday's show. Everybody who has been donating on a regular basis, not somebody that donates once in a blue moon. The folks that have been donating on a regular basis, all of you should have received the call-in number for Blog Talk Radio for Saturday's show. You guys have been exclusively sent the guest call-in because you're a contributor to the show. Everybody's not going to have the number. Okay. Now they can listen via the internet, but they cannot they will not be able to call in. Okay. And I will not post the number. I will not state the number on the air. If you don't have it ahead of time, you're not going to have it. If you don't donate on a regular basis, you will not get the guest call in number. Okay. Just saying. That's only fair. You're not contributing anything. You're just taking. You're not giving. And it's right for those of you who support me financially for you to have a voice on the Iceman Show. So Saturday, we're going to talk about why women are conniving, why women are so dishonest toward men, why they're so conniving and dishonest toward black men. We're going to finish up the part 2 of why American women lie so much. We're going to finish that up, but we're going to get into dishonesty, disloyalty, and all points in between. So that's the preview for Saturday's show. Remember, the show is at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you live in Mountain, Central, and Eastern times, plan accordingly, because I'm going to start the show promptly at 3 p.m. Pacific time. You got that? Now, we're going to do a triple cast. We're going to be on here, we're going to be on Facebook Live, and we're going to be on Blog Talk Radio. So you can be on one of those platforms, 2 of them platforms, all 3 if you want to be. If you want to get it big pimping, you digs. Appreciate it, Mr. McMillan. So all of you guys have the number. All these other folks do not get the number until you start donating on a regular basis. And those of you who say, hey, Ice, I donated $10 or I donated $5 and I go in PayPal after the show and look and I don't see anything, I'm be like, man, this Negro here, I ain't gonna never listen to nothing else you got to say. If you lie, once you lie to me once and you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, and I check behind you and there's no record of you donating $5 or $2 or whatever it is you say you donated, we're done. You understand me? We're done. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, voting is not going to get you out. It's not going to fix white supremacy. If you look at our voting history from the last 55 years or whatever years the Voting Act's been in effect, have you noticed that black people haven't made any improvement? Black people have not made any. We've made social progress. You know, we can go to the white malls now and blow our money. We can go spend money at white companies. Some of us can get hired at white corporations, but that's it. We have no empowerment. Voting will not empower us, and you know it will not. You can go ahead and talk that nonsense if you want to. You can go ahead, Facebook. Y'all, those of you who keep posting stuff on Facebook talking about voting, let me tell you something. You can vote till you turn purple. You will still be in economic and social and political bondage. Mark my word. You can go ahead and post stuff for Stacey Abrams and Andrew Gillum if you want to, thinking they're going to do something for you in their respective states. It's going to be white supremacy as usual. All you're going to get is a black, you're getting a black politician in whiteface. Or you're getting a white politician in blackface. That's all you're getting with them. And the only reason Stacey Abrams is getting promoted heavily in the state of Georgia is because she's non-threatening. She's mammy, she's overweight, she has a pie face, and white folks feel comfortable looking at an Aunt Jemima mammy. Y'all think it's some progressive. Oh, you think that y'all slipping something over on white supremacists in the state of Georgia? You ain't slipping nothing past the white supremacists in the state of Georgia or anywhere else, Florida, anywhere else. She's safe. Andrew Gillum is safe. Otherwise, he wouldn't be up there. Please be honest, man. If you don't, if you don't have the money to donate, that's okay. But just don't lie. Don't lie and say you bought my book and you didn't buy it. You're not helping or hurting me, but I'm gonna lose respect for you. And that's why I talk about this a lot during these live streams, because I'm starting to get to some of y'all, but I'm not getting to enough of you. Take what we're doing here seriously. And then invite. How many of you have said, hey man, I got your book, but I'm gonna get my brother to buy your book because he need it. He out here running after these white girls getting nothing. I need, so I need somebody that I gotta know somebody that needs to get educated on white supremacy. I'm gonna go ahead and how many people are you turning on to the show? Have them subscribe to my channel, the Mad Voodoo Man channel, so they can get educated. Okay. You guys can make sure you copy and paste my information to subscribe to my channels. Okay? So that people can get that information. Yeah, I did vote. The only reason why I voted is because they sent it to my house. I've never sent in an absentee ballot. They sent it to my house and I actually read it. And did you listen, Ashanti Morris, to what I said? I said, I believe you should give a candidate one chance. After that, don't support them. Did you hear me say that Tuesday and today? Or are you just trying to blow up the spot with some nonsense? I didn't say don't vote. I said, here's what's behind voting, and here's why voting is a waste of time. Does that sound like I'm telling you not to vote? Huh? I think you're on the late freight, homie. Get your facts together. If you're going to try to blow up the spot, have your facts together and your receipts. I got two channels, the Iceman Unchained and the Iceman channel. Go check both of them out. I'm not telling people not to vote. What I was saying is that if you're going to go vote, here's what's behind it. Here's why your vote is a waste of time. Is my vote going to be a waste of time on those initiatives? No. No. The only reason why I voted for those two candidates is it's not costing me nothing. Because there's not a whole lot of black people in this district. So if they do something specifically for, say, this particular congressional district, I benefit because I live here. You see how that works? If they do something for me, my vote counted. It's benefiting me, even though it wasn't specifically for me or directly for me. No, what I mean by blowing up spot, you calling me a hypocrite. That's what I'm talking about. You asking critical questions is not that. I'm not saying you blowing up the spot for that. But I have explained ad nauseum that while I say go ahead and vote if it's going to make you feel good, understand that most of the time your vote is a waste of time, especially as a black person, because nobody is representing us. If I vote for this particular congresswoman who's going to be presiding over my district, is a Republican, there's some old Latino chick that thinks she white, that's Congresswoman right now. I voted for her opponent. She's a professor. I benefit. If that woman wins, I benefit. That's what you call a strategic vote. I'm not in Georgia and I'm going to sit up here and vote for Stacey Abrams just because she's black. If Stacey Abrams looked like I said again, if Stacey Abrams looked like Omarosa, I would vote for her. But because she's looked like Mammy and Aunt Jemima, I know that's why they put her up there. And I'm not going to vote for her. Look, let me explain something to you. White folks are putting Stacey Abrams up there. White folks are putting Andrew Gillum up there. Do y'all understand that? If they're presenting a black candidate to us, what exactly are we getting? I'll tell you what we're getting. We're getting a white supremacist in blackface. That's what we're getting. They're not going to abolish white supremacy. Georgia's still going to be one of the most racist states in the country. Florida is still going to have stand your ground. Okay? They're still going to have stand your ground. And black men and women and children are still going to get killed by race soldiers posing as cops and deputized white supremacists. You digs? Why don't you live in a black, how come you don't live in a black community? Do you, Shanti Morris, do you live in a black community? Huh? Here's the thing. I live where the best city, county, and state services are. Does that answer your point? And none of those things are ever in the black neighborhoods. There are some people of color where I live, but yeah, it's mainly a white neighborhood. I live in a rural area, and I like it because it's quiet, except when these fools be all up these. I live by a fire station that stays busy almost every night. Put what things there? You mean like put black services there where I am? There's hardly no black folks over here. And the black folks who are here are like 3-4 blocks down the road. And there's some old look like some old Section 8 type apartment over there, because every time I drive through there or drive past there, I see a bunch of fat black women with all their kids. You have to move where the best city, county, and state and federal services are being provided. That's the point of the census. That's why I make sure I fill out the census no matter where I live, because, you know, I may not be living there 6 months from there, but hopefully those services will be offered for the black person that takes my place. You understand what I'm saying? I would love to live in an all-black neighborhood, but you can't do it because the people that live there might be good people, but it's they raggedy ass ghetto kids that'll be breaking in your car. Look at that coon up there in Sacramento that got killed by that cop. He over there breaking in stealing stereos out of people's car. He ain't have no job, living off of relatives, living like a roach. And when he got killed, nobody cried except for his family. And then his brother was up there buck dancing and clowning till they put his ass in jail. That's why I don't want to live in a black neighborhood. I'd love to live in the hood because I get along with everybody. The problem is what I work hard for. If I lock my door and go outside the house, even my security system in my house is not going to make me feel totally secure. So when I go out here, and talking about I'm gonna live in the hood, what happens? A hardworking black man like me and you, they break in our house as soon as we cut the corner. These people's kids. And then when we say, hey, I know it's your kids that broke in my damn house, that ain't my damn kid. My kids wouldn't do nothing. See how that go? That's why I don't live in the hood. But I would love to. And by the way, I ain't pro-black. I'm black and proud. I'm black first. There's a difference. When you say somebody is pro-black, that means they just spewing rhetoric. I'm not spewing rhetoric. I'm kicking facts, and I got receipts. There's a difference. Okay? Wherever I'm at, brother, I don't care if I'm on the road and I'm out here driving on the highway going somewhere. If I see brothers that need help, I step to them. Even if nothing else, I say, hey man, I'm on the run. The best I can do is give you my business card, and holler at you, at another time. Sometimes that's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? So, but I make the effort to touch bases with brothers that I feel need help. I wouldn't mind. Look, let me throw this out here. If any of you are serious about being mentored on starting businesses or weaning yourself off the white supremacist corporate plantation, and you want to start getting that mindset so you can, get into possibly starting a business, email me. I'll set a class up for you, and it'll just be us. Okay? If you want to do that, we can do that. But I need serious brothers. You ain't got to have no big bank to start a business. It depends on what you want to do. Because if all you need is a computer and internet, we just need to figure out what else you need. That's all. We need to figure out what else you need. Well, I need to know how to code. Okay, well, let's look online and follow some things on how to code. By the way, whoever that was that donated that $5 through Super Chat, again, that money will never get to me. They'll never debit your or credit your card. They will never debit your credit card or your debit card. Okay? Because again, Super Chat is not set up, people. Okay? Even though you think you did something, Super Chat doesn't work. Okay? Yeah, somebody has to be the consumer and somebody has to be the business owner, but you have to understand, brother, you have to find a place in that equation. You understand me? Yeah, if you don't have the mind for business, that's so what? Maybe you need to learn. See, what black men don't understand, black men need to stop trying to get out of responsibility. We got plenty consumers. We got plenty of blind consumers. Well, who are you? Who are you, a Caucasian dude? Who are you? Black-owned businesses, leaders. Oh, okay. Okay, welcome to the show, sister. Well, what I'm saying is, sister, is we have to build the businesses first. And while you're building the business, you have to bring in employees. Your employment pool is going to be who? Family, people around your community, friends of your children. You understand what I mean? And those folks can be the first pool of employees. Okay. Outside of that, if we need more employees, then we obviously have to put in, classified ads in the LA Times, whatever papers in your area, or go on Indeed.com and have somebody post something. We have to do those things in order to get those folks. And when we get those folks in, we interviewing them. If they're what we're looking for as an employee, then we hire them. And if we don't, it's next man, next woman up. But we have to set the businesses up first. When I got ready to set up my first business, I didn't tell anybody. I just got all the paperwork, all the legal paperwork. I just set everything up. And then from there, I start reading books and start doing research. And I was taking information from so many different sources. This is before the internet. And I finally set everything up because I knew what I wanted to do. Y'all see where I'm going? And once I got that set up, then I start hiring people. I only needed a couple of people. I didn't need a whole bunch of people. But I also had people working on 1099. I had people going out and doing work for me, and then I paid them in cash, and then they paid their own taxes. Okay. But that's why I tell people to hire me as a consultant so I can teach you that stuff, because you might think you don't have the backbone for leadership and running a business, and you might be surprised that you do. Okay. There's plenty of solid Black businesses that are owned by Black women out here. There's a company, excuse me, company called Bare Essentials. That's she was on Shank. Y'all remember when I used to watch Shark Tank all the time? Man, I love Shark Tank. It used to come on Friday night. I didn't miss it. Back in 2012, I used to watch it all the time. Sure did. I kind of lost interest. It comes on, it still comes on, but they moved it to Sunday night. I was like, I don't like it on Sunday night, because I be done watch football and I'm like, I don't want to watch something else that I got to use critical thinking skills on. Yeah, you do your research. You always do research before you start a business. You know, because you get all your, that's why I say you do a business plan. When people hire me to do a business plan, what I do all that research for them. Then I put it in a nice little pile, and then they pay me, and then I send it to them. Everything's mapped out. The financials, here's how much you're going to need to get the building. Here's how much you're going to need to do a build out within the building. When they hire me, that's what I give them. But if you don't think you can pull it off, even doing it that way, then hire a professional. I'm a professional. I have an MBA, and now I've been doing this for 20 years. Yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. So if you're interested, email me at Ask the Iceman. Well, go to asktheiceman.com, and you can email me at asktheiceman.com at gmail.com, or the THA the Iceman show at yahoo.com. You can email it me at either one. I think I got 3 email addresses. You can catch me, and we'll just talk about that on there. No, you do the research first, then you open it up. That's why I say I didn't say anything to anybody. When I set up my first business, I got all the legal documents, filed all the legal documents in with the state and the city. And then what I didn't say was I did the research first. I kind of already knew how I needed to do it. The only thing I hadn't done was getting the licenses taken care of and the documents filed. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't say that I had done it first. But yeah, research is done first, because you don't know what you want to do. You might start doing research and realize you don't even want to do it at all. But like I said, if you're interested, if you're serious, this ain't the forum for this. You need to email me. All right. But anyway, you guys, that's the preview of the show tomorrow, Saturday. Everybody that donated the last 4 weeks, couple of people that donated tonight. If you haven't received your call-in number, send me an email. I believe I've already sent it to you. Okay. But thank you, those of you who donated tonight. I know I didn't ask you guys to do it, but definitely want to thank the guys that donated tonight. Thank you, DJ B side 1965. Thank you for your donation. Brown Sausage, thank you. I know you received your call-in number. Everybody should have got everybody that donated should have got their call-in number. Okay. my nonprofit. We have a drive from January to August where we fundraise for clothes, backpacks, school supplies. We do that from January to August. So that's going to be coming around again. But what we're doing right now is toy drive, clothes drive. I mainly try to raise money for clothes because my thing is, if you're dealing with poor people, toys are fine. Toys don't feed people. I rather what I used to do when I was directly involved with these nonprofits, I would just go to the store and just get sizes, the average sizes of all the kids, and I would just I would just go buy clothes. Okay, and they seem to receive that better than just the chore, just the the toys. Y'all see where I'm going with this? But anybody that's interested in life coaching, or you're interested in getting a business plan done, you just don't know what you need to do. You know how to do research. Maybe you need to be pointed in the right direction. Go to asktheiceman.com. Okay. Please go to that's what we do right now. We get the money together, and then the nonprofits that actually go out and buy the clothes. Because I used to go out and do it myself and then send the clothes over, and then sometimes some of the workers, not the people who own the nonprofit, but some of the workers would be stealing the clothes. So I said, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get the money and send it directly to the people that run the thing and own it, and then they're going to, it always gets done that way. Y'all see where I'm going with this? But yeah, we black men, we need to be more proactive. We need to stop being stingy and cheap and be taking all the time and not giving. All right. Saturday, Blog Talk Radio, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, the Iceman Show podcast presents the Player Circle, the 4th show of its kind. We're going to be big pimping this coming Saturday, 3 p.m. Let me write on here. So it's at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So okay. And those of you who got your call-in number sent to you via email, don't lose it. If you lose it, email me and I'll send it to you again. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Think we got a lot of work done. Remember, voting is like a straw man's argument. Okay. If it's not dismantling white supremacy, then why are you doing it? If you can get some strategic benefit like I did by voting on those issues, yeah, go ahead and vote. I'm not telling you not to vote. But what I am telling you to do is be more strategic. If you can benefit from that person and they're going to add more resources to that district you live in, or that state, or that city, or wherever it is you're trying to get, then vote for them, because you're directly getting something from them. I'm talking about when you vote for somebody, they ain't going to do nothing, like Obama. I knew Obama wasn't going to do a damn thing but make fools out of black folks. You digs? You tuned into the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. We're going to shut it down for the night. Facebook, where you at? You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. See you at 3 Pacific time, y'all.